It couldn't be any worse? That sounds like a challenge. Is there anything better than some dough? Yes, when it's deep fried, covered in cinnamon sugar, and dipped in salted caramel. I know what I'm doing. Why do I lie to myself? What a beauty. It was so good. Churros, or churro, is that right? Of Mexican origin, or might have been Spain, or maybe Portugal. A fried sweet dough dessert that's covered in cinnamon sugar. I literally just mentioned all of that. But I wasn't really talking about money. Dough, you get it? I was talking about churros. And you know what they are, I hope. Because if you don't, my heart breaks for you. You know how they taste, and now it's just time for you to learn how to make them. Luckily, these are super simple, fairly quick, and quite fun to make. And if you're strapped for time, you can easily prepare this dough well in advance. And when it comes time to fry your churros, you just go ahead and... Those are really bad sound effects. So with that said, let's get started. So for this dough, in a small pot, we're gonna start off with 60 grams of unsalted butter, tablespoon of white sugar, get a 1/4 teaspoon of fine salt. We're gonna get 1 cup of water. Of course, we're gonna bring this over the stove and melt all of this. The reason why we're making our dough on top of the stove, this technique allows our dough to be super hydrated. So when we fry them and we bite into them, they're almost like a custard-like texture and not just dry breadsticks. Oh, I wouldn't mind fried breadsticks. Anyways, all right, so we're gonna bring our heat to about medium low, let all this melt together. All right, once everything is melted, just starting to simmer, we are going to sift in 1 cup, and if it's not perfectly sifted, that's no problem. 1 cup of flour. And we'll mix everything together. And once most of this comes together, we could just offer heat and just keep mixing it until the flour is mostly incorporated. We're gonna keep mixing this later, so it's not a huge deal if you don't get everything, because we got machines for that. Why don't we let them do the work? Something like that. Now we got our dough. We are gonna need to let this cool off. It's quite hot because we're gonna be adding an egg. Now if we add our egg too early, we would just get scrambled eggs, which we do not want. So I suggest you letting this cool down till it reaches around 130°F before we add our egg. I wanna transfer this into a mixer because I am kind of lazy. And we have the technology, so why not? But while we wait for this to cool down, let's make our salted caramel sauce, which if you watch Carrot Cake video, we've done that there. We're gonna do it again. Very easy to do, and really the churros are pretty good, but you add them together with the salted caramel sauce. So since I forgot to press record, 1/2 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, medium-high heat. All right, so we're really close now. It's about 300°F. Once it passes 300 degrees, it gets up really quickly. Again, as soon as it hits 350, 360, it's go time. And we're there. So we'll offer heat, pull this off of any of our heat source. Then we're gonna pour in 1 cup of whipping cream, and it's gonna get crazy. And we're gonna add a teaspoon of kosher salt. If you don't want salty, then just a touch is fine. And then we're gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're gonna let this cool off because it is very, very hot. While we're trying to be efficient, let's just preheat some of our oil. Short skillet. We're gonna get this to 350°F. All right, so while we wait for our caramel sauce to cool down, our dough has cooled off enough to which we're gonna add an egg. So I'm gonna use my mixer with a dough hook. Did I say dough hook? I meant the flat one. I know what I'm doing. Once all this comes together in a cohesive way, everything's mixed really well. Pretty good. Now if you look at other recipes, some uses egg, some don't. The egg really helps with the fluffiness, helps the dough rise when we fry. I highly suggest using egg recipes. So next, of course, you're gonna need to put this in a piping bag. This one is a, I don't know what size these are. It says 1M. I don't know if that means anything. You want a piping bag with a piping tip that gives you about 1/2 inch. Anything smaller might end up being too small. And I don't know if they make them any bigger. But get this in our piping bag. At this point in time, if you're trying to make this dough in advance, The only thing you need to do before you pipe it, let it come to room temperature. And if it's still too tough to work with, you could put it in the microwave for a little bit just to soften it up. But this should be good to go. Before we get our fry on, we are gonna need our cinnamon sugar, which is very easy. Half a cup of sugar, make sure you get it all over the table. Then about a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And if you like more cinnamon, feel free to much or as little as you like. Whisk that in all together. Now to set up our fry station, you can line something with paper towel. On the other, some cinnamon sugar. All right, so our oil is preheated to 350. Now this process is fairly straightforward. If you want straight churros, do them straight. Give it a little snippy snap. Snippy snap. Turn them every now and then. Make sure they're frying evenly, but not too early. You gotta let them set. All right, once it reaches a beautiful gold, like so, and if you want to be super sure, because public safety is your #1 goal. Oh, it's too crispy. Can't get in there. 200 Fahrenheit. See? Every time. Dough, 200. 200. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, so we'll let this drain off just quickly. We put in our next batch. We're gonna do a spiral action, which is my preferred method. Why is this my preferred method? Because it's just easier. You don't want you to do everything, you just cut into smaller bite-sized pieces. But, all right, these are slightly dried off. Roll them in some of our cinnamon sugar. You don't need too much unless you like a lot. The batter is already sweetened, something like that. Although rolling them when they're sticks is actually a lot easier. I'll give it credit for that. All right, so let's give this a flippity flop. This might actually be harder. I lied. I'm such a liar. 2 tongs? Oh no. Why do I lie to myself? Why do I have such delusions where I feel like I can control my life? That's okay. Oh yeah, that looks so good. All right, this one is good. Just, oh, what a beauty. Oh, what a beauty. Frame this on my refrigerator. I'll let that sit. I think we should be able to get another batch in here. One final one. All right, that's it. This one was so ugly. All right, so let's get this over here. Yeah, this is a lot harder though. I lied. Doing it this way is way harder. Guess I could just, yeah, that's not bad. Let me try that. Oh no, it broke! Alright, let's see how this went. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, the caramel sauce has not cooled down yet. But I always stay strapped. See how it is? Alright. You see how fluffy and airy that is? That's for the crunch. Oh, and just another one. It's so good. Wow. So that's that. Doesn't get any better than this. So easy, super simple. Make a lot of friends with this, or so they say. Or you can keep it all to yourself. It doesn't take too much to make your own dough, fry your own dough, sugar your own dough, or dip your own dough. Who knows, maybe you could start selling these to make your own dough. Although I doubt that's possible. As a great man once told me, never get high off your own supply. I'm about to get high.